guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexa. Basically in today's video, I will be talking about the, I think 14 books that I read in June. So basically in June, almost the entire last week, I basically didn't really read, and also I started the month in a reading slump, so I didn't read as much as I usually do, but I did read more than I did in May. I actually didn't film a May wrap-up, I think. Yeah, I didn't film a May wrap-up because I read like 4 books in May, but I'm finally out of my reading slump. I've been reading kind of a lot-ish. But yeah, basically last week I was at my cousin's, so I didn't really read there. Yeah. So let's get into this video, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the only physical book that I read. So only book that I read off my physical TBR, even though I did buy a bunch to add to my physical TBR. I think I actually got like 5 new books, but I only read one of them, and that wasn't any of those 5 books, but we don't talk about that. But that first book is Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Oh my god. Okay, so sorry about that. My tripod was slowly falling down, but I don't know, I might add that in the beginning of the video as like a blooper to get you guys hooked in. I don't know. I'm using my journalism terms that I learned in my 2 journalism classes I took, but basically, as I was saying, I read this book, this masterpiece, I don't know, it's just perfect. It is probably one of my favorite books of the month. I was about to say favorite, but then I remembered of another book that I read that is also one of my favorites. This one, I read so many, by the way, guys, I know there's a lot of 5-star reads this month, but I was just reading a lot of books that were like on my 5-star predictions, and I'm almost always right with my 5-star predictions. But basically, I rated this one 5 stars, but I wish I could have given it 1,000,000 stars because it is one of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. I need to continue this series. I had gotten 200 pages in back in April, but then I don't know why, but I made the mistake of putting it down. So then I had to pick it back. Well, I didn't have to, but I picked it back up for the video that I did where my TBR jar picked my reads for a week. And I absolutely adored it. I love Johnny and Shannon. I love all the side characters. Gibbsy, I hope he gets a like spin-off series, and I need to read the other books. And I am also hoping that the North American covers for Binding 13, like the new covers, are better than the UK covers, because the UK covers are giving Colleen Hoover, not the old good Colleen Hoover like November 9, the old like Heartbones. No, I mean like the new one, like the November 9 with the little flower, and the Heartbones with like the pinwheel. I hope they are better because I want to own the new covers, but I also can't afford to buy the series right now because these covers are very expensive. They're like $30 Canadian, and I can't afford to spend like $90 on 3 books, $90 plus tax. So I will just have to wait until the new covers come out and I buy them with the money that I'll have when I buy them, I guess. I don't know. I know that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in my head. But yeah, basically this book was amazing and I loved it. After that, now on to the like little ebooks. Well, ebooks, you guys know the drill if you've watched my videos before. So first, I randomly read a book that I found on my Reels feed, because basically I've trained my Reels feed to be mostly like those little like quote recommendations. So I go on the Reels feed whenever I just need to basically get a quick read that I'm gonna read in one sitting off Kindle Unlimited, and that was it. Right now it's a 4-star, but I think I'm gonna bring it down to a 3.5. It was okay. I'm actually changing it right now. I have my laptop right there so I can look at the Goodreads reviews and all that. Also, if you notice, this is a new place where I'm filming the video. Tell me if you like it, tell me if you don't. It's just a lot comfier sitting on my bed than sitting either on the floor or on my desk chair. And it's easier to have the books around me, and I feel like it's just less boring than just having a blank wall behind me. But basically, yeah, that one, I can't even remember what it was about because a lot of things have happened since then. Like, I think I was also, it was the day after I had gotten my wisdom teeth removed, so I was all over the place. I was crying at everything. It was a wild ride, that wisdom teeth removal thing. After that, I read Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. That one I read it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It was my first Sophie Lark read, and I mean, it's a mafia book, and I kind of mafia-ish book, and I love mafia books. If you hadn't watched my videos in the beginning of the year, like my January wrap-up, where I talked about I can't remember what the name of the series was, but I think it's like the, you know, Sinners Anonymous, all that, I don't know. Basically, that's when I became obsessed with mafia books. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm definitely going to continue reading those books. After that, I read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. If you guys didn't know, I am a Christina Lauren stan through and through. They once liked my Instagram post last year, and I have made that my entire personality. When like one of my favorite authors likes my post, I'm like, okay, this is it. This is where I peaked in life, and it always goes back up whenever another author that I love likes a post. But basically, that one, I was like, for some reason, I was convinced that my best friend had read it. So, like, because she kept asking me if I had read it, and I was like, oh, no, not yet, but I want to. Oh, no, not yet, but I want to. And I finally did, and I absolutely loved it. It was a 5 stars. But you see, that's a 5 stars. It wasn't as high as this, like 5 stars. I have different different tiers of 5 stars. There's 2. There's like 5 stars and that, like, absolutely loved it. And there's the 5 stars where, like, this is about to be my entire personality. But that one I really loved. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It's kind of like fake date. I mean, it's kind of fake dating. And you guys know that I love fake dating. As I was saying, you guys know that I love fake dating. And I love anything that's like on vacation, summer vibes, and that was literally that book. So of course I read it in 2 days. It is what started the end of the reading slump. After that, I read Going Bi-Coastal by Dahlia Adler. That one was an ARC provided to me by Simon & Schuster Canada. I'm in the influencer program, so I get ARCs when I ask them. That one was really good. That one was a 4.5 stars. The only reason why it wasn't a 5, well, one of the things that made it that it wasn't a 5 is that I didn't know it was dual timeline, kind of, until I was like about 100 pages in, which was kind of a problem because I was like, why is she in New York and California at the same time? I wasn't understanding any of it. It was my fault. I had forgotten to read the back of the book. I had read the back of the book like months ago. I think it was like back in January, and I was like, oh, that looks good. And then I read the book and I was like, what is happening? And then a few chapters in, I was like, oh, it's dual timeline. So keep that in mind, but go read it. It's a bisexual book. I don't know. The cover is pretty. Go read my review that's on my Instagram. I sadly can't like link an Instagram here yet because I don't have 1,000 subscribers and all the things that you need to get monetized, and you have to be monetized to be able to pop up a link right here. But yeah, basically after that, I read The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. That was my first Abby Jimenez book, and I loved it. I loved that the male main character was a fireman, because, I mean, yeah, of course. I also bawled my eyes out. I laughed, I giggled and kicked my feet at certain points, and I also absolutely sobbed. I sobbed because yeah, it's very rare that books make me sob. But oh yeah, by the way, guys, this one also made me sob. Yeah, that one made me cry. Cried a lot. I was also very emotional during, I don't know why though. Oh well. Ooh, after that I read / listened to When No One Was Watching by Alyssa Cole. It's a thriller. It's the first time that I fully listened to an audiobook that wasn't a reread. Because like I've listened to the third Summer I Turned Pretty book as an audiobook. It's actually my second favorite book in the series. But I took that one last year with one of my Audible credits when I got a free Audible subscription like for a month, because Chris Briney has like narrates every other chapter or something like that. All the Conrad chapters are narrated by Chris Briney, and I love him. So basically I was just like, anyway, as I was saying, it was a really good thriller. It shocked me. I think it's called like a social thriller. I don't know. It was a very good thriller. Go read it now. But read the trigger warnings online. There's probably a website that can find you trigger warnings of a book. I don't know. After that, I read Mile High by Liz Tomford, which is the first book of the Windy City book series. I loved it. It was a hockey romance. It was my second ever hockey romance, and it's my favorite. Basically, it's about this, I can't remember the name of the guy, because I never remember the name of characters in books other than if it's like like in the second tier of the 5-star, which is like I make this book my entire personality. But yeah, this one was in the first tier. But I know that the girl's last name was Shay. Can't remember her name. I just can remember her last name because she's the sister of the guy in the second book. But basically, this one is about a hockey player and basically his flight attendant and his like plane. It's like kind of like a forbidden romance, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I read it for my TBR jar video. I'm not giving too many like opinions about that one because I don't want it to be too redundant, because I gave a full 3-minute, 4-minute review almost on those books in that video. After that, I read The Right Move by Liz Tomford. That one was a second tier 5 stars. It's about Ryan Shea and Indy Ivers. I am Indy. We have the same personality. She's a romance reader. I am a romance reader. I read mostly romance books this month. And she basically, that one is a fake dating one, I think. Is it a fake dating? Can't remember. I think it is. Yeah, it is a fake dating. And she basically like models his behaviors based on her book boyfriends, and I was like, I need that. I want that. I need a book boy in my life. Give me one, please. But yeah, basically I adored that book. I cried as well. I cried at a lot of books this month. Maybe that was just a very emotional month for me. I don't know, but I just know that that is one of my new favorite all-time books. I read, I think, 3 books this month. Yeah, 3 books were all-time favorites. That one, this one, and now great transition, Alexa, the next book, which is Fourth Wing. I read 2 bangers in a row. I read The Right Move, and then right after that, I read Fourth Wing, which is also a second tier 5-star. Literally, as soon as I finished, oh, by the way, it's by Rebecca Yarros. As soon as I finished that book, I was like, okay, I need to reread it because I don't have the second book. The second book isn't coming out until November 7th? I don't know. But basically, Rebecca Yarros, you're most likely not watching this, but if you are, when you send out those little arcs of the second book, could you please send it to me? My email is in my YouTube. It's in my, yeah, it is in my YouTube. So you can just email me. I will send you all the details. I need it. I love you. I love you. But basically, I'm in love with Xander. No, not Xander. What is his name? Oh my god. not Xander, something. Wait. I need to know, where is it? Where is his name? Xaden. I am in love with Xaden. He is my husband. I've had a few book husbands this month. Yeah, basically I'm actually engaged to him. You see the invisible ring right here? He's my husband, you know? We're getting married. He's my husband, we're getting married, and I just said that we're, anyways. I love him. I want him to be my boyfriend. Anyways, I feel like this book is just gonna be me talking about wanting a book boyfriend. Chronically Single. But yeah, basically I adored that book. It's a perfect romance fantasy. It's a lot of fantasy, like, it's not a romantasy, but it's like a fantasy with romance, which is perfect. It kind of gave me like the same feeling as I had when I was reading ACOTAR, which I loved. Okay, I used to say that I hate it because I didn't want to be like, I was like, oh no, like ACOTAR, no, terrible, blah blah blah, because everyone was like, oh, it's terrible. And now I have matured, I've grown, and I have realized that it's okay to like a book. It's okay to like ACOTAR, so I love ACOTAR. Basically, yeah, I just adored it. It actually has a 4.68 review, like it has 4.68 average rating on Goodreads. That is so rare. Like, and then there's also, wait, so I just realized this. I read 3 bangers in a row. I read this one, then The Right Move, and then Fourth Wing. My life was changed after I read those 2 books. Also, I'd love to think that I'd be a writer in like not a writer in like the squadrons, but if I was a rider or an infantry, I would simply pass away in those like I wouldn't survive past day 2. I would have to be a scribe, because that's just that, it is what it is. After that, I read listened to the Legendary, the second book in Caraval. Not me actually listening to another book fully on audiobook. Like, who is she? I really liked that book. That one was a 4-star. I didn't like it as much as I did Caraval because it was in Tella's point of view. But I really enjoyed it. It was good. I mean, I loved it because it's in that series. I'm hoping to read Finale this month because I want to finish the series and be able to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is right there on my bookshelf. I'm actually going to start listening to it probably today, or I might just read Once Upon a Broken Heart before I finish the Caraval series, because I've met Jax now, so I'm like, okay, but yeah, basically I enjoyed this book. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but it was still pretty good. After that, I randomly read, I don't know why I did, but I randomly, in one day, no, not in one day, in 2 days, read Minx by Sophie Lark. That was such a random read for me, I don't know why, but I just, a few of my, a mutual of mine and a few of the people I follow on TikTok were like, oh, guys, Sophie Lark just has this new book that came out called Minx, and I got an arc of it, and it's pretty good, and I was like, okay, perfect, it's a standalone, so I won't get confused by reading another Sophie Lark series, but it was pretty good. I give it a 4 stars. I like Sophie Lark's writing. Honestly, it's pretty good. And yeah, it was also pretty short, so it was an easy read, quick read. If you want to get into Sophie Lark, read that book. And then last but not least, but it was okay. Liked it. I read Have You Seen Her by Catherine Mackenzie. It is a thriller that happens in Yosemite. Honestly, I wasn't able to tell what was gonna happen. The not the cliffhanger, what is it called? The twist. The twist absolutely shocked me. Didn't see it coming, but I didn't really care about the plot or the characters. I was just like, what's gonna happen? I was thinking of all the little options that could have happened. So it's a 3.5, 3.75. What was happening in my head? You know the image that has all the math things and shapes and whatever. Wow, math things and shapes and whatever. Go Alexa. But yeah, basically it it was an okay slash good-ish book. I don't know, my throat just made a random noise. Sometimes that happens to everyone. Okay, but yeah, basically that was the last book. Sorry that I seem so confused today. I just have to film 2 videos and back to back. I'm filming my TBR next, and I was trying to figure out the next book that I had on my Goodreads, if I had read it already, or if I had read it in June or July, but now I just see just now that it was in July. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing to my channel, going on my TikTok, my Instagram, all in my link tree. Yeah, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, morning, evening, whatever time it is for you guys. So yeah, bye.